Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Ja RasTafari. Blessed love, salutations from the port city of Bluefields on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Here we are, down here by the wharf. You can't really see because we're in the inside of the terminal where people does travel a lot. But we have a picture of the Emperor Haile Selassie the first, the Emperor of Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, yeah.
And well, today's video is all about how this white guy was saved by Rastafari. Well, at least up to my 35 years of life so far, you know. You know, in the last video we were talking about, well, I was talking about how I had a very close relative of mine pass away because of drug addiction, overuse of opiates. And it made me think about a lot of this Haile Selassie Rastafari, you know, because my loved one, when they were young, you know, they were led astray and into the drugs a lot from a young age, from 12, 13, 14. Like a lot of young people in the world during them time of their life is a time where they like to try things and be tempted to try all these drugs that are killing people out, you know. But when I was a youth, when I had about 15 years old, I was coming to Rastafari Haile Selassie. And what a lot of people don't know about Rastafari and Haile Selassie is that it's a movement of anti-drug, meaning that Rastafari people don't use drugs, don't use even medicine that the doctor prescribed. So when I was first 15 and 16 and I started growing my first set of dreadlocks, like you see, I'm a bald-headed white guy. Yes, I'm a white guy. But when I first started, when I was 15 and 16, growing my locks, I kept to the Rastafari code of not using drugs. Even though when you're young, 15, 16, maybe you're around a lot of your friends, and especially in the United States, a lot of my friends those times were using ecstasy, cocaine, all these drugs. And I would be hanging out with them, you know, burning my little herbs, of course, because Rastafari burn herbs. They don't look at that like a drug. And just being there with them, but not using the drugs. And all my life, from that time to this time, I've kept a natural life, not going into the drugs because of my faith in Rastafari and Haile Selassie, you know. This is Christ in his kingly character, you know. A lot of people would be amazed to see that, and we could have another video about that, but this video really is about how Rastafari saved my life. And in the previous video we were talking about the love, the relative, the close loved one of my loss. We know that we were mentioning that true having some type of faith in spirituality and having something that holds on to your life, like whether it's you go into church or church meetings or you belong to Rastafari, it can keep you from going into bad habits like drugs that could eventually leave you dead, or other bad habits like murdering, thieving, because Rastafari is a reflection, at least the movement of Rastafari is a reflection of the Old Testament and the New Testament, a living fire, one testament, you know. And when we look into those things, then it brings us to live a better life. When you are involved in something that's positive, whether it's your church meetings, your AA, and those positive things keep you away from the bad things in life. You know, I've been feeling all type of ways since my close relative was murdered by the drug system, by the heroin, by the opiates. Sometimes I can't even move in the morning, or I just sit there and I get so depressed thinking about my loved one, very close relative. And I felt like I should make this video to amplify the power that the king have, you know, that His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I have over this world of creation that we in, you know, because even if you research the man, the history of the amazing things that this man did in the world, not only for Africa and for black people, but for world peace, for the coming together of the human family, you were just amazing. Maybe you could understand why I say this is Christ in his kingly character. It might be hard for y'all to understand that, but sure, go look up some videos online and I'm sure you could figure it all out on your own. I'm sure there might be other videos here on the channel where we discuss that. You know, when I was a young person, first off, when I first saw this image, it catched me. It something about it attracted me so much that I just said, I want to research this man's history. Not at first to say, well, when I first saw the man, I was like, oh, I'm going to bow down and worship this God. No, something about the man attracted me. And when I research and I read the man's history and the amount of diplomacy that he brings into the world and the amount of positive way of living that he promotes, it really turned me around. You know, when I was a young person, 15, 14, first coming into Rastafari, maybe I liked the reggae music, of course, at first. That's what catches a lot of people. But then when I didn't really think of them time when I was young, when I really came into Rastafari, I was anti-church. I was going down a bad path. I was thinking there was no God, listening to a lot of music that kind of twists your brain around some of these Marilyn Manson and crazy music in those times. But when I saw the first image of Rastafari, and I started to really listen to the words in some of the reggae music of Bob Marley, not just listening to the rhythm or feeling irie or whatever, but really listening to what the man telling me, it touched my heart. And it brought me out of the belly of the beast that I was going down to, that so many have gone down into, a living hell that so many people on this earth end up going into. So I have to thank Rastafari, man. And I have to be thankful that they have a mural like this in the city that I live in Bluefields, you know. Many people probably walk by this every day, going here down to the Wendelin to buy them ticket to go Rama or go Orinoco. And well, I know y'all Orinoco people don't know. Y'all Garifano people. But they maybe walk by the Spaniard and say, who is this man? What is this man? Who he do? What? Well, there's a little testimony from Rasta Punch about Rastafari and the love that he was able to share with me. Imagine even him was passed away. Or at least, like in the realm we live in, we would say he was non-existent, even though we know that's a lie. Rastafari can't die. That love still come to me as a youth and changed my life for the better, you know? And what's so funny too, a lot of time when I was young at that time, my parents thought I was going down a wrong road. They thought that I was gonna get involved in drugs and be a part of this cult and start do all type of strange thing. They couldn't stand the appearance of my bongo locks. And now look at me, a white guy, a Rasta guy, a Rastafari guy, because I'm not just a Rasta, a Rastafari too, love in my life. But I bald head, of course, now. And what's so crazy is that here in this city of Bluefields, the idea of dreadlock people is still so backward compared to places like in the United States and Jamaica, where it's been accepted that everybody that has locks here is considered a drug user, which is not true, you know. And many people that look at Rastafari think it's just reggae music, smoking marijuana, but it's so much more than that. And nowadays, time when we're hearing about the legalization of marijuana throughout the world in places like Canada, places like Jamaica decriminalized, places like Colorado, we wonder and we think to ourselves, what about all of them people that was during them time locked up, put in jail for just an herb that God created? And still today they suffering while other parts of the world are enjoying legalization. Well, here on the coast, y'all don't know, we don't got marijuana legalized at all. But it makes you think in life about some of the things like Rastafari and Haile Selassie and Christ in his kingly character that many of y'all probably just see the outside of, the reggae music, the image of his king. Bob Marley with the dreadlocks, but don't know that if you was a real Rastafari brethren, you must love Haile Selassie. You must research the man's history, research the things that he wrote while he was here with us in this dispensation, the flesh that he was in. And you'll know that it leads right back to the Lamb, Holy Emmanuel, Jesus the Christ, the Black Christ. So just a little bit of thing knocking you out today on the channel. Not only knocking you out, but knocking out the white Jesus all the time and bringing up the righteous roots movement. Till next time, y'all. Blessed love, Rastafari, live it every time and reign it. Earth's rightful ruler, Christ in his kingly character, the Lion of Judah. Blessed love.